Hello friend, in today's video we will learn how we can interface the keypad with Raspberry Pi. So in this video we will create a small project. The project name is Smart Door Lock System by using the keypad. So the flow of this project is that whenever the known person enter the correct ID, that is correct password from this keypad, then automatically door will be open and sometime door will be closed. If the unknown person enter the wrong password, then door will not open. So this is a small project, but definitely from this video you will definitely learn how you can connect the keypad with Raspberry Pi. You can also use this keypad in your existing project. So before start this video, I would like to tell you what we will cover in this video. So first we will cover what will be the final output first, so that you will get idea about how the flow of this project. Then later we will cover the hardware connection, the each and every pin, how I connected the hardware part with Raspberry Pi. Then later we will see the programming, that each and every line from for this project, and at the end we will see how to run this project. So please watch this complete video so that you will get idea about each and everything about this project. So first see what will be the final output of this project. So you can see when I run the project, the enter password message present on the LCD. So it will ask me the password. So if I give the wrong password, like here, so you can see whenever I type the key, that is any number, then star will be appear here. So it means that it is hiding the key, whatever the user press the key, it is hiding that key. So it is also the one feature of this project. So after that, if I click on plus button, that is equal to that is the password given button to Raspberry Pi. So once I press the equal button, then you can see the unknown person, means the password is wrong and it will not open the door. So whenever I give the correct ID and correct password, then it will give the valid person. Also it will start opening this door. So again I will type my password, and this time it is a correct password. So you can see valid person, get start opening, get start closing. So this is the basic idea behind this project. And again it will start the password for the next iteration. So this is the basic idea behind this project. Now we will see the hardware connection of this project. So before start the next part, I request you please subscribe my channel. You can see currently I have 927 subscriber and 2113 public watch hour. And to verify my channel on the YouTube, I require 1000 subscriber and 4000 watch hour. And this only possible with your support. So please support me, please click on the subscribe button. So once you click on the subscribe button, it is not beneficial for me also, it is also beneficial for you. You can see I have uploaded the more than 40 to 50 video on the Raspberry Pi, on the Arduino, and that video is very unique. You will not find this video on the YouTube. So if you want to learn the Raspberry Pi from the scratch and from the Arduino from the scratch, please subscribe my channel and do visit all my video. Please watch all my video. So before start the circuit diagram of this project, it is very important to know that you require the Proteus 8.9 software for the Raspberry Pi simulation. So if you don't have the Proteus 8.9 software, go to the YouTube, just search free Proteus 8.9 software. You will get many results and download that Proteus 8.9 software from the YouTube. Then after that, you can see if you want to open the Proteus 8.9 software, just right click on the software, then click on run as administrator. Then click on yes button. Then if you want to create a new project, click on the new project. So once you click on new project, you can give the project name here. Then after that you can provide the path here. Then click on next button. Then click on this do not create a schematic from the selected template. Then select the do not create a PCB layout. Then select this create firmware project. Go to the family, and inside this family you have to select the Raspberry Pi. And after that you can see you require Python 3, it is a compiler. Then click on next button and click on finish. So once you click on finish, you can see there are two windows will open. One window is source code and second window is schematic. So in the schematic capture we will write our we will design our circuit, and the source code we will write our code. So in the first part you have to go to the source code, click on this and delete all this. So it should be the blank. Then go to the schematic, and here we will first connect the LCD with our Raspberry Pi. So if you want to select the LCD with LCD to go, then go to the component mode, then click on P and type here 16 cross 2. Then after that select any 16 cross 2 LCD, then click on OK and place LCD here. Then after that you have to connect the default pin to Raspberry Pi default pin. So if you want to select the default pin, go to the terminal mode, then click on default. So one default pin should be here, then another default pin should be here, then after that third default pin, because you require RS enable, then D4, D5, D6 and D7. RS enable D4, then D5, D6 and D7. Then go to selection mode, select all the default pin at a time, rotate anti-clockwise. Then after that place one by one default pin in front of RS enable, then D4, D5, D6 and D7. So place this pin here, RS, then second default pin enable, then third default pin here, D4, then fourth default pin D5, then next one is here, then next one is here. So in this way we have placed all the pin in front of this line pin. Then connect RS pin to here, enable pin to here, D4 pin to here, D5 pin to here, then D6 pin to here and D7 pin to here. Then after that RW pin should be connected to ground. So go to terminal mode, then click on ground and place the ground here. Then after that connect that RW pin to here. So after that we have to connect one by one pin with Raspberry Pi. So RS pin should be connected to GPIO4. So double click on this default pin and here you have to give GPIO4. So this name should be exactly identical with the GPIO4. Click on OK. Next, enable pin should be connected to GPIO17. So double click here and select GPIO17. Then D4 should be connected to GPIO18. So double click here and give here name GPIO18. Then D5 should be connected to GPIO27. So double click here GPIO27. Then after that D6 should be connected to GPIO22. So double click here, give here name GPIO22. And then D7 should be connected to GPIO23. GPIO23. And click on OK. So in this way we have completed the connection of LCD with the Raspberry Pi. Now next part is we will connect the keyboard with our Raspberry Pi. So how to take the keyboard? Again go to the component mode, then click on P and type here keypad. So once you type keypad, select this keypad, any one of this keypad you want to select. I have selected this calculator keypad and click on OK and place that keypad here. So you can see keypad is here. I will give you a short description about how this keypad works. So whenever you give the 5 voltage at this point and if you want to press this button like 7 button, then automatically this 5 voltage get transferred from this A1 to this 1. So then this 5 voltage, that is 5 volt, is detected at this pin. And at our program what we will do, we will first give the 5 volt to A, then we will scan all the rows so that we can detect 7, 8, 9 and this divider sign. So you can understand by using this simple logic. So you can see whenever I give the 5 volt like this DC motor, DC supply I have given here, and when I give double click here, give the 5 volt here. Then after that if I take the LED for your understanding how this keypad work, red LED, then I place the red LED here. This is for your just understanding, it is not part of program project. Then go to the ground and place the ground here. And let's say when I run the project, so you can see whenever I place the 7, this LED will turn on. You can see when I press the 7, LED will turn on. So what will be happen? This 5 will get transferred to A and this one is act as a bridge. So whenever I press the bridge, it complete the connection from here to here and it will turn on the LED. So with the same way, if you let's say I scan this one and if I want to detect the 8, so again I run the project and for this time I click on 8. So you can see once I click on it, this bridge is completed and this LED will turn on. So this is the basic idea behind this keypad, how this keypad work. And with the same logic we will develop in the code. What we will do, we will give one by one signal to A, B, C, D, and after that we will scan 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you press 7, you will if you press the 7, then automatically this one will detect the high signal and Raspberry Pi detect this high signal and will give the 7 input to Raspberry Pi. So this is the idea behind this keypad. So now I will try to add the default pin to the keypad so that we can connect the keypad to Raspberry Pi. So okay, so if you want to connect the keypad, first thing you have to do, you have to take the default pin again. So if you want to take the default pin, go to a terminal mode, then click on default and place the default pin here. After that, take the third default pin. So go to terminal, again default, and take default pin here. Now 4 default pin here. Now connect one by one pin here. After that, select another default pin. Take the one default pin from the again terminal mode. Go to default and place the default pin here. Then second default pin should be here. Then third should be here. Then fourth should be here. Then select all the default pin at a one time. Rotate 180 degree. Then move one by one pin in front of 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one should be here. And this one should be here. So connect one by one default pin to here. Now you have to connect this default pin with Raspberry Pi. So A number default pin should be connected to GPIO 5. So double click on this pin and give here name GPIO 5. Second default pin should be connected to GPIO 6. So double click here and give here name GPIO 6. Then third default pin should be connected to GPIO 12. So double click here and give here name GPIO 12. Then fourth should be connected to GPIO 13. So double click here, give here name GPIO 13. Then after that, this one number default pin should be connected to GPIO 16. So double click here and give your name GPIO 16. Then second default pin should be connected to GPIO 19. So double click here and give your name GPIO 19. Then after that, third default pin should be connected to GPIO 20. So double click here and give your name GPIO 20. And last default pin should be connected to GPIO 26. So double click here and give your name GPIO 26 and click on OK. Then you can see we have connected all the pin of that is row pin of the calculator to Raspberry Pi and column pin to the Raspberry Pi. Now next part is we have to connect the DC motor module to Raspberry Pi. So how to connect the DC motor module? You have to again go to the P mode, component mode, then click on P and type here L293D and click on OK. Click on this and click on OK and place that L293D here. Now connect VCC. Take the power supply first. So go to the generated mode, click on DC and place the DC power supply here. Then connect the DC power supply to one by one here. Then after that, double click on this power supply and give a voltage 12. Then at the output side you require the motor. So go to the component mode and click on P and type here DC motor. Take the simple DC motor and click on OK and place that motor here. Then after that, one point of DC motor should be connected to out 1 and another point should be connected to out 2. So for the connection we will take the default pin again. So go to the terminal mode and click on default. One pin should be placed here, another pin should be placed here, one pin should be placed here, another pin should be placed here. So select all this pin, go to selection mode, select all two pins and rotate 180 degree and place in front of 3 and 6. Connect here. Then after that, this pin should be connected here, this pin should be connected here. Then after that, double click here and give your name DC1 and give your name DC2. Click on OK. Now give your name DC1 again same and give your name DC2. So you can see this pin should be connected to virtually this one. Now enable pin should be connected to 12 volt again. So go to the terminal mode and click on default, place the default pin here. One default pin should be here and second default pin should be here. Now connect that default pin to here and again second default pin should be here. Now double click on this pin and give a name enable EN. Another default pin give name EN. So virtually again these two pin is connected. Now IN1 and IN2 should be connected to Raspberry Pi. So again take the default pin and connect the default pin one by one here. Then after that, this IN1 should be connected to GPIO 24. So double click here and give here name GPIO 24. And IN2 should be connected to GPIO 25. So double click here and give your name GPIO 25. Now next part is you have to connect the ground pin. So to connect the ground, go to again terminal mode and click on ground and place that ground here and connect that ground to ground. So once this, we have completed our circuit diagram for our project. Now if you want to give the square box for this connection, like I have given here, like you can see on the square box I have given LCD module and keypad. So likewise, if you want to give the square box, go to again the square box, go to the pin and draw the square box that you want. After that, go to the selection mode and go to the A and click on here and give your name like DC motor module, and you can increase the size as you want and click on OK. Now you can see the DC motor module name come here with the square box. So likewise, you can give all the name for the square box. So in this way we have completed the circuit diagram. So if you want to take the ready-made circuit diagram, that ready-made simulation from me, just check the description of this video, and in the description you will find the ready-made solution of this project. Now I hope you understand the circuit diagram of this project and how to create the circuit diagram in the Proteus software. Now we will see the programming part and each and every line from the program. So if you want to see the program, go to the source code, and inside source code, that is program. So now we will see importance of each and every line for this program. So first line is import time. So if you want to create some delay in your code, you can require this library. Then import OS. This is library used for the some OS functionality. Then import Raspberry Pi.gpio. So basically this is GPIO library, and basically this GPIO library used to control the GPIO pin of Raspberry Pi. Now next line is GPIO.setMode GPIO board. So in our circuit, in our project, we will use Raspberry Pi as a complete board. So to select that complete board, we will use this line. Now set warning to the false. So basically, whenever you run the code on the actual Raspberry Pi, you will get a warning that whatever the GPIO pin you have used is already used before. So to avoid that warning, you should use GPIO.setWarning to the false. Now next line is RS pin to the 7. So you can see as the LCD, we have connected the RS pin to GPIO4, and GPIO4 is nothing but the 7 number. So that we have defined here LCD RS pin to the 7. Likewise, same we have defined enable D4, D5, D6 and D7 pin of LCD. Like you can see D7 is connected to 16. So D6 you can see GPIO23, and GPIO23 is nothing but the 16 number. So that we have given here LCD is the 16. Now with the same logic, we have to define the rows pin of the keypad and the column pin of keypad. So you can see first row R1 is a first row pin is connected to 29 number. So you can see R1, this one is GPIO5 is connected to 29. So that we have given here R1 is 29. With the same logic, we have defined R2, R3 and R4 with respect to our connection from the circuit diagram. Then C1, C2, C3 is the column pin. So C1 is connected to 36. You can see at the line at the bottom, this is the column pin, and the column pin is connected to GPIO16. So GPIO16 at Raspberry Pi is nothing but the 36. So that we have defined here C1 is equal to 36. C1 is equal to 36. With the same logic, we have defined all the column pin of our keypad. Then DC1 and DC2 18, 22. So you can see at the circuit diagram, we have connected the enable pin. IN1 pin is GPIO24 and IN2 is GPIO25. And 24, 25 is nothing but that 18 and 22. So that we have given here 18 and 22. So in this way, we define all the pin of our hardware in the program. Now next part, there are some variable. We will see importance of this variable later. Now you can see one of the important part is secret key. So for my project, secret key is 9922. So if you want to change the secret key, you can change the secret key. Secret key nothing but whatever the valid person password for the keypad. So that if you want to give any secret key here, that password is for this project. Now next line is GPIO.setup enable pin to out. So whatever the output pin for our project, like for all the LCD as output pin and all the DC motor pin as output pin. So all the pin should be state as the output in our program. So to set any pin as output, we will use this logic GPIO.setup LCD enable GPIO.out. So all the output pin I have declared here out. So you can see row 1, R1, R2, R3, that is the row pin of our keypad is also the output pin, because Raspberry Pi will pass the one signal, and after that we will scan this GPIO pin. So all this GPIO pin act as an input and all the GPIO pin act as the output. So you can see R1, R2, R3 as a output pin, all the LCD pin as output, all the DC motor pin as output, because Raspberry Pi send the signal on that pin. After that, we have to, in the program, we have to scan this pin. So this pin should be act as an input. So how to define any pin as an input? You can see this line, GPIO.setup, C1, C2, C3, GPIO.in, then pull down, GPIO.pull down, because it's a pull down register. So GPIO.in, this is very important because this one is stated as a pin, as a work as a input pin. So all the C1 to C4 as an input pin. So with this logic, we have defined all the pin as an input, all the pin as an output. One is 18, line number 2 is C0. So if you want to send some signal on LCD on first line, that is 16 by 2. There are two rows, first row and second row. So if you want to send on first row, you can use this syntax LCD 80, and if you want to send some signal, that is some message on second row, you can send C0. So we will see later what is use of this variable. So first line what is executed in program is LCD init function. So you can see LCD init function is here. So here first one is LCD init function. In LCD init function we have to send some command so that our LCD gets work. So this command thing, but start the LCD, take the initial to first row only, message should be printed on first row only. All this command, you can see all this command, and you will see you will get details of this command on Google. You can search the LCD command, you can easily find the importance of each and every command. So main important part of this is how to send this LCD command from Raspberry Pi on your LCD. So there is function lcd.byte, then you have to pass the command and LCD command. So the LCD command is nothing but the variable we have declared already here, LCD command to the false. So we will see this, what is this function. So LCD command, it is jump to this LCD byte, then after that here is select GPIO.output LCD RS pin mode. So what is mode? We have sent here mode as a LCD command, so means this is the command mode. So whenever there is a command mode, you have to select RS pin, and that RS pin should be Raspberry Pi should send the 0 signal on that RS pin. So you can see LCD command mode, this is variable, and this variable has a value false. So whenever you are sending the command on LCD, you have to send RS to 0, that is RS 0 signal on RS pin. So that we have already created function LCD byte send command, and LCD command, this is nothing but 0, automatically send on RS pin with this function GPIO.output LCD RS to 0. Then after that we have to send the data. So data is nothing but this is a 8 byte of data. You can see this is 8 byte of data, but in our schematic we use the 4 pin. So we have to segregate our data into 4 byte, so that we use another logic. So once this signal 33 number sent to LCD byte, it comes here. Then first part is set the command as a command mode. Then GPIO.output, all these our 4 pins should be selected to false by default. D4, D5, D6, D7 should be the false. This means that the 0 signal sent on the LCD D4, D4, D5, D6, D7 by default. Then next line is if bits ending with 0, 1, 0, that is higher byte is equal to 1, 0. So let's say this is 33 number. So first we have to send the 33 data or command on LCD. So in 33 we have to first aggregate the higher byte first and then lower byte first. So you can see this is our higher bytes and this is our lower byte. So from the higher byte we have to send the D4 first. So to send the D4 byte first, we have to masking with 1, 0. So after masking with 1, 0, you can see the D4 bits get 1 value. So if that value is 1, then we have to send 1 signal on D4. So that 1 again shifted to the D5, then again masking with 2, 0, and if the value is 2, 0, then we have to send the 1 signal on 5th number of LCD bit. So this logic applied to each and every pin D6 and D7. So once this higher bits get executed sent on LCD, we have to shift the same logic to the lower bits. So again lower bits we have to send D4 first, then D5, D6 and D7. but in that case the masking is 0 cross 0 1. So we will see the code. So first we are sending 33, then the LCD bytes get here, then 33 mode is command because we are sending command, then GPIO.output LCD RS pin to the mode, that is mode is command, that is 0, that means 0 signal send on the RS pin. Then by default we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pin, D4, D5, D6, D7. After that we are checking is first bit masking with 10 is equal to 10. If 10, then we have to send D4 to the true. If that is not equal to 10, then we have to already send false signal from here. Then second bytes from the higher bits 20. If this value is 20 after masking, then we have to send D5 to true. Then third byte 40, then D6 to true, and then last byte D7 byte. If we are masking is 80, then we have to send D7 to true. If any of this condition false, then we already send the false signal. So once you send the higher signal, you have to toggle the enable pin. So to toggle the enable pin, we are using this logic LCD toggle enable. So in that logic, we have to pass the high-low signal on the enable pin. So to pass the high-low signal, this is the logic time.sleep. First we are sending some delay, then GPIO.output enable pin to a true. So it will send the high signal on enable pin, then time.sleep to the pulse, then it is sending some time sleep, then GPIO.output LCD enable pin to a false. It is sending the 0 signal on LCD enable pin, then after some delay, so it will toggle the pin. So once you send the higher bits, we have to send the lower bits again. So same logic will apply. First we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pins D4, D5, D6. Then again masking with 0 1. So in this case is 0 1. We are first masking it 1 0 because it's higher bit, and this is the lower bit because this is lower bit. We have to send 0 1. So if the value is 0 1, then we have to send LCD D4 pin to the true value. Same for the D5, D6, D7. So in this case we are sending the data on LCD pin. After sending the data lower bits, we have to again toggle the pin with a toggle function. So this is the basic idea behind how to send the data on LCD. So once LCD get initialized, the next part is we have to send the welcome function, welcome message on LCD line number 1. So we have already defined LCD line number 1 variable, which is nothing but the 0 value. So LCD.string welcome. So welcome is nothing but the array. So each array is divided into again 1 byte with their index. So index 0 contain W, index 1 contain E, L contain second index, then C. So this iteration we will do by the for loop. So first go to the LCD string function. So inside LCD string function there is a message that is welcome, and line is line number 1. So first we have to calculate the width of that message with this function. So once you calculate the width, we have to tell LCD that this is this message has to print on line number 1 by using this command, line command. So line command get execute with LCD byte. Same logic will execute. Then next is we have to iterate the welcome message. To iterate the welcome message, we will use for loop for I in the range of LCD width. So I is not starting with 0 and it incrementing 1 2 3 4 till LCD width. What will be the length of this message? So let's say first I is equal to 0. So LCD byte function get execute with parameter message of I. So I is 0, then message of I is 0, nothing but the W. Then LCD character. Then we are passing the character to the LCD byte, so that LCD with so that RS pin set to 1, and then our message get print. Once the W is sent on the LCD, we have to send the E. So I increment to 1, then E will send, and same with the same logic, all the message send on the LCD. Now once the welcome message print on the LCD, we have to print the enter password message on the LCD. So how to print the message on the LCD? That's the same logic, LCD string, then you have to pass the string and then line 1. This line will indicate that the message on the first line. So in the while one loop, you can see there are read line function. So what is this read line function get execute? I will tell you the basic logic. So at the starting in the read line function, you can see there are two parameters, R1 and some array. So what is important in this array, I will tell you. So first array you can see 7, 8, 9 and divide. So at the schematic you can see on the keypad there are 7, 8, 9 and divide. So for that I have define here 7, 8, 9 and divide. Then the second array is 4, 5, 6 and a star. So you can see, and the second row 4, 5, 6 and star. So I have defined all the pin, all the number, whatever defined on the keypad, all the number I have defined here with respect to row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. So with respect to that row 1, I have defined the pin name here, button name here. Then after that, this readline function, what is execute, it will pass these two parameter. This R1 is nothing but the R1, R2, R3 nothing but the GPIO pin number, GPIO 5, 6, 12 and 13. And after that, this readline function get execute. Then inside this readline function, you can see there is a line and the character. Line is nothing but the which row line. So at the first time, let's say when you press the 7, when you press the 7 button, we have to identify the 7 button is pressed. So the GPIO 5 pin is passed to this line, because this is the first line, first row is called from this code. So it will go here. Then R1 gets called, and then character. The character array is nothing but this array. So this array starting with 7 is array is starting at the starting index of array is 0, then 1, 2, 3. So that at the 2 number 9 number is stored. At the third index of array divide is stored. So array index always start with 0, 1, 2 and 3. So when this array is passed, then we have defined two global variable. So first global variable is input string. So whatever the number we have pressed here, that number gets stored into the input string, and we have to after that there is a hide key. So in the hide key you can see whenever we press the number, then we have to display the star on the LCD. So to display the star, we will use the hide key. So next line is GPIO.output, line is GPIO.hide. So line is nothing but row 1, because we pass R1. So R1 is GPIO 5. So GPIO 5 gets high pin. So after that we have scanned C1, C2, C3 and the C4. So how to scan the signal? To scan the signal, we have to use GPIO.input function. Then we have to pass C1. So GPIO.input function which will check C1 gets 1 value or not. So at the starting of a hardware explanation, I told you, when we pass the high signal to here, that is 5 signal to here, then this, when we press the 7 button, this bridge is completed, and then this point gets the 1 signal. So to detect the 1 signal at this point, we will use this logic. If GPIO.input C1 is equal to 1. Yes, in this case it is 1, because we assume that 7 is pressed. Then input string, whatever the input string, plus character 0. So character 0 is nothing but 7 number. So I can show you this 7 number is at character 0. So that input string gets 7 number value. Now after that, hide key is equal to hide key plus star, and we have to pass that hide key on the LCD. So it is LCD string hide key on the line number 2. So in this way we will print hide key. Now you can see at the first iteration we get the input string value 7 number. Now let's say we have pressed the 5 number. So how to scan the 5 number? In the source code, in the while one, this logic get execute again. R2 and R2 have 4, 5, 6, 7. So go to the here, then it will check GPIO.input is C1 is equal to 1. So you can see at the schematic this R2 gets 1 value, because we have passed GPIO.output line number to the high. So this pin gets high value. Then first it scan 4 number. So we haven't pressed the 4 number. So that means this 1 value, that is 1 column, does not get the 1 value. So in the code it will check GPIO.input C1 is equal to 1. So in this case it is not 1. So it will not go inside this loop. Now it will execute else if loop. So in else if loop, GPIO.input C2 is equal to 1. Yes, in this case it is 1, because you can see this line 5 is pressed and 5 is correspond to C2 here, column 2. So this logic get execute, and then after that input string gets another character value, that is first value is 7, second value is 5. So in this way all the character get scanned one by one, and we get the input string value with this all the logic. Now last point is how to identify this plus. So you can say plus is taken as the R4. So whenever this line is execute R4, then it go to here, then it will again give the R4 to the high, and then it will scan 1, 2, 3, 4, C1, C2, C3, C4. Then C1, C2, C3 does not get the 1 value because R4 is placed. Then this bridge is completed. So in a code you can see C1 gets false value, C2 gets false value, C3 gets false value, and C4 gets 1 value. Now in the C4 we have to scan, it is hash or anything number. So if the hash, if character 3, so you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, it is third number index. So we have scan here, character 3 is equal to hash, yes, is equal to hash. Then we have to compare the input string. So whatever the input string we have collected up till now, we have to compare with our secret key. We have defined already secret key here. So you can see secret key 9922. So it will scan input string is equal to secret key, yes. Then it will pass LCD person, valid person on the LCD, then get open. Then it will start the rotating of the motor in the clockwise direction. So how to rotate the motor in the clockwise direction? You have to pass one signal on this pin of this motor and 0 signal on this pin. So how to pass this pin? How to pass this signal? GPIO.output DC motor 1 is equal to high and GPIO.output DC motor 2 is equal to low. In this way, motor start rotating in the clockwise direction. So how to rotate the motor in the anti-clockwise direction? Same logic, but reverse one. This one should be 0 and this one should be 1. That is swap the logic. So again pass the low, high. And how to stop? Give the 0 value. So after some time motor will be stopped. Then we have to reset our input string, reset our hide key. So how to reset? Just give the null value to input string and the hide key. So this is the second logic. Now the third logic is if the input string not equal to secret key. So what will happen? So else part will execute and it will print unknown person on the LCD and get will not open. So again it will reset all the key. Then else part. So in the else part you can see this one is else part. This is the else part of this hash. So if it not hash, that means we do not have to scan the valid person. So if character is not equal to hash, then just replace, go to here and it will take the input string as a next value and it will append in the input string and it will print the hide key on the LCD. And then after some time GPIO.output it will load this pin. So what, after scanning all the pin C1, C2, C3, we have to again turn off this pin. So to turn off the pin, again we have to pass GPIO.output line number to the low. So I hope you understand the logic now, and if you don't understand, please watch this video again. You would definitely understand the logic of keypad. Now we will see how you can run this project. If you download my code, my simulation from the Google Drive link. So before start this step, you have to download my code and the simulation from the Google Drive link. Then after that, go to the Proteus, right click on the Proteus, then click on run as administrator, then click on yes button. After that, click on open project, then go to the downloaded folder from my Google Drive link. Then after that, select this project simulation, click on open. So once you click on open, you will find the ready-made solution of this project. In the source code, you can find the ready-made source code. Now if you want to run the code, click on this button. Then if there is no error, then it will print the welcome message as usual. Then enter password. Then you have to pass the password. I will give valid password right now. And click on the plus button. Valid person. Then after some time, gate will be open. And start opening and start closing. So in this way you can run the project. I hope you understand the complete project. So please subscribe, please click on the subscribe button, click on the like button if you like this project. Please support me.